Welcome to Wonderful Wednesdays. Glad to have you all with me today. As I mentioned in the note, why is sitting up straight becoming so hard? Well, we do spend a lot of time seated in that forward flexion movement. And I do want to say right off the top that when we are sitting, we really want to pay attention to our posture. And let me show you this bit of artwork that I did. Just to remind you, you have 4 curves in your spine. So your cervical neck spine is concave. Then your thoracic upper back chest is convex. Your lumbar, and this is an area, a source of pain for a lot of people. Again, this is concave, and then sacral, it goes back out again in a convex motion. So I think most of you know this, but it's not straight up and down. It has curves. And the way that we breathe, the way that we sit, in fact, 70% of our lung capacity originates in the back of the body. So when we start out in child's pose today and when we're doing downward dog, I'll try to remind you that I want you to think about your back ribs, okay? Now, poor posture, another downside of that is that when you're not sitting up straight, your sternum and your lungs are going to be compressed because they're pressing up against your diaphragm and your abdominal organs. So therefore, you're going to get less oxygen into your body, which means you'll feel tired. If you happen to eat at your desk, your digestion will be impaired. And overall, muscles and joints eventually accumulate stress, because anything that has the wrong type of force upon it eventually is going to rebel. You'll feel it in pain, you'll feel it in lethargy, and guess what? Poor posture doesn't look good. So we're going to start in child's pose. And today, excuse me, let me get some water. I did suggest that some of you may find being on your knees a tad painful. So in child's pose or anytime we're on knees, having a blanket at the ready is a good idea. So child's pose, I like to take it with knees wide apart, big toes touching, flatten the tops of your feet, sit your heels back towards your buttocks, towards your heels, arms stretch out in front. If it's not comfortable to lie your forehead flat on the floor, either place a cushion or a block. And then here's where we want to pay attention. Breathing into your side and your back ribs. Those of you who find it uncomfortable to have your knees this compressed, remember, you can come up onto your knees, keep your hips up in the air, and just come into puppy pose as opposed to child's pose. So bum up in the air for puppy pose, bum down for baby pose, child's pose. Play around, see which one works, but most importantly, let's focus the breath on the side and the back ribs. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose or through the mouth. If you've had a busy morning, then sometimes exhaling through the mouth can release a lot of tension and stress. Notice your side and your back ribs moving as you inhale, expanding. And of course, on the exhale, they come back in. Take a couple more breaths. And again, if your mouth is open, you may even want to go, ah. Inhaling. Last time. Nice inhale through the nose. And let it go. Spread your fingers wide apart. Coming up. We're just going to take a soft dog here and we're going to walk the dog a little bit. So part of the reason why it can be difficult to sit up straight is because hips are tight, hamstrings are tight. So just walk the dog, straighten one leg, keep the other one bent. Breathing. Again, notice the breath in the side and back body, and then change. So stretching the hamstrings here on one side can help us sit up straighter, make it easier. And change. You notice a little baby has no problem sitting up straight. Well, let's face it, they haven't got any real stress or tension in their body yet. They don't have any stress in their hamstrings. Everything's still nice and soft, almost rubbery like. So just slowly walking the dog. Always feel. There's no yoga without concentration. Otherwise, it's just exercise. But when we focus on what is being stretched, what you feel in the body, even moving the head just slightly, just to notice whether or not you're holding it in a position that doesn't encourage releasing stress. And one more time, changing. And come on back down. Okay, we're going to come on to our backs for supine twist. But just before we do that, I want us to take that seated posture. And I want you just to notice, because we're going to do this again at the end of the class. So I'm sitting sideways here, Dandasana staff pose. Obviously, for some of us, if we were to raise our hips, it makes it easier. But I just want you to notice right now, with the heels of your palms near your hips, fingers pointing forward, flex your feet so that your heels come off the floor, and then let your heels come back down. Lifting up at the sternum. This helps the shoulder blades move down your back. Now, this requires effort, right? You wouldn't want to sit here for half an hour. You would find this very uncomfortable, or at least a lot of effort. Okay, so just kind of mark that one in the back of your head. Come on down and let's do our supine twisting. So we're gently now going to stretch and open the outer hips. Inhale in place, exhale, draw that right knee up and interlock your fingers around the knee, and then bring with your left hand the right knee over to the left side slowly. This also helps to release the muscles around the spine, particularly in the lower part of the spine. Keep some pressure with your hand on the outside of that right knee and feel that in your glutes. Another bugaboo, your butt, what we sit on. And the deal is that sitting on our butts actually reduces the blood supply, not only to that area, but a long time sitting reduces blood supply to the legs. So this is why getting the legs up in the air, inversions. You know, when you're putting cream on your feet, maybe at night before you go to bed, I like to do that lying on my back on the bed with my feet up in the air, because blood pools in the ankles. The veins get engorged. So by lifting the legs up, we allow the reversal of the flow of blood, the valves open up, and we give those veins a bit of a break. So if your right arm is out to the side, Maybe you could turn your head just to the right as well. And notice a little bit of release, maybe through the thighs, through the glutes, and your lower back. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lower that leg back down. Bring your arms beside your body. Take a moment here to feel any sensations or release or just general energy moving through the area that we just stretched. Okay, so inhale, in place. Exhale, draw the other knee up and interlock your fingers 2 inches below. And then with your right hand on the outside of your left knee, draw it across the body over to the right, extending your left arm out to the side. So just begin where you are here. I'm not suggesting that everybody's knee is going to go down to the floor. Take your time, feel. Practice with awareness, respect, and compassion for where you are now. There's no judgment. I've been doing a lot of cycling, and of course, that's generating energy, muscle use, not stretching though so much, in the glutes and the outer thigh, which is we're stretching this out because sitting, cycling, different activities that we do, they're great. Not the sitting so much for too long, but stretching is an important form of exercise to help to release the tension that's building up, get more blood supply into an area that, for whatever our reasons are, has been lacking. Breathe into your left hip, thigh, and glute muscles. And notice where you started in this supine twist, that I bet your knee and thigh have drawn a little bit closer to the floor. And then just to get an extra rotation into the muscles on the spine, turn your head towards your left outstretched arm. And keep breathing into the area that feels the most tension, tightness. And as you exhale, feel supported by the floor. So tight hips, weak core muscles, tight hamstrings. These, along with poor posture, are the culprits of why sitting up straight can feel like so much work. Not to mention some of the furniture that we sit in does not support the curvature that I showed you at the beginning of this session. Last inhale and exhale. Draw that knee back to center. Bring your arms beside your body and extend that leg out in front. And once again, take a moment here to feel the energy moving through your left hip, thigh, IT band. I'll bet you feel a lot more energy in both hips and thighs now. So I want to do a core strengthening exercise. Obviously, the core is really the glue of the upper and lower part of the body. If it's weak, that will extend into both the lower and upper part of the body. So this is definitely a core strengthener. Also activates hip flexors, and we'll be doing some hip flexing workout as well. And abs, really important. Strong abs protect the back. Okay, so draw your hands behind the back of your head, interlock your fingers behind your neck. In fact, use your neck, not your head, and then inhale, and let's draw the left knee up and lift your head off the floor and bring your right elbow towards your left knee. And change everything back down. Inhaling your right knee up, lift the head and neck and bring the opposite elbow to the knee and back down. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring the left knee up and we're going to go back and forth, but we're doing it slowly. This is not aerobics. Changing, left elbow to right knee. Change, right elbow to left knee. Change, and change. Exhaling on the crunch, inhaling on the stretch, exhaling when you bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You'll be feeling your abs. Hang in. Inhale, exhale. One more time on each side. Right elbow to left or wherever you are. And change. And that's beautiful. Okay, bring your knees in towards your chest and just do a little rocking from side to side here. Okay, and one last core exercise, and also works your thighs. We're going to do bridge pose. So bring your feet onto the mat where your knees would be. So your knees are bent, your arms are beside your body. And you're bringing your heels close to your bum. Lift your shoulder blades up and tuck them under your heart center. Reach your fingers down towards your heels with your palms facing down. Tilt your chin towards your sternum to lengthen the back of your neck. And then roll on your sacrum and press the small of your back into the floor. Peel your spine off the floor, lifting up, coming into your familiar bridge pose. I also like this for the compression at the throat area. By the way, if you eat a lot of dairy, putting cinnamon on it, which is a great spice, but it can reduce the amount of mucus that we can feel from eating dairy. Inhale, and remember, all yogurts are not created equal. Some of them have live bacteria in them, and some of them are just paying lip service to something that's cool. Kefir, full of probiotics. So it's the opposite of antibiotics. Probiotics, they help to keep your intestinal bacteria in the right balance, positive balance, which is really important. This will be a little talk that I want to introduce later on in the session. And then slowly, starting from the top of your spinal column, come on all the way down. And once again, draw the knees up in towards the chest. And do a little bit of rocking from side to side, holding on to your knees. Maybe even make circles on your back. Notice too, after class, the muscles that you may be feeling that got a little bit of a workout that you may not have recognized as needing it, but the body speaks. We need to listen. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to do on the back for now. I'm just making sure. What does that say? I can't read my own writing. Supine. Oh no, one more. Glad I looked. Okay, great hip opener, supine pigeon pose. Place your right ankle on your left knee. Right ankle on top of left knee. You're going to draw your left bent knee towards you, and you're going to place your right hand through the hole of the two legs. Your left hand goes to the outside of the left leg. You're going to interlock your fingers behind your knee, or if you can keep your shoulder blades on the mat and reach around to the front of your knee and interlock your fingers, great. Now, if your head is off the floor, grab something to support it, either a blanket or a block. If reaching around to the front of that left knee takes your shoulder blades off the floor, then please bring the hands around to the lesser distanced place of behind the knee. All right, you can check it out and then find the one that works. Obviously, this is stretching your right hip. So breathe into it. Exhale any of the stress or tension in that hip. You'll notice we're going to hold just a little bit longer this morning so that you're going to get more benefit. If we do this quickly, it becomes aerobic. If we hold on to it, as in yin yoga, as opposed to yang, if we practice this by holding, your body has a greater opportunity to let go of the stress and the tension. And as I spoke, are you noticing a release in that right hip or thigh area? Even 1 hour of yoga a week can work. I don't know, I want to say miracles or magic, because in my world, that's how I feel. My benefits are almost miraculous from even 1 hour a week of physical practice. I did mention too starting a meditation practice, which I was planning to do from my home. I've had some internet issues, and until I'm assured that the problem has been resolved, I don't want to start something. So it's only going to be about a 6-week course. So we have time this fall, but it will be a great introduction and opportunity. If you don't have a meditation practice, I can't strongly suggest enough that you consider learning, but it is a practice. Okay, that is great. Let's cross that right leg over the left. Take your arms out to the side shoulder height, and then just release both knees over to the left side. Just a nice, soft, gentle stretch into the area that I hope you felt some release. Inhale, come back to center, uncross your legs, and now let's bring the left ankle on top of the right knee. Left ankle on right knee. So this is referred to as supine pigeon pose because it works that same area, a little bit easier than the one where we do it on the lying down on the floor. Let's draw the right knee towards us once again. Thread your left arm between your legs. Your right goes to the outside of the right thigh. Start with interlocking your fingers behind your right knee or right thigh. Just check in here. Again, support your head if it's coming off the floor. Keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Now, if you feel you can, bring your fingers around to the outside of the front knee. But that's only if you can keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Your shoulders will be off the floor. Breathe into your left hip, thigh, and glute. Send your loving, caring awareness into this area. And with awareness, notice, is some of the tightness letting go? Is there a kind of melting, softening, relaxing. And maybe there isn't. But just notice. We're going to hang in here for another few breaths. Give it a chance. It's like somebody asking us a difficult question. It takes time for us to formulate a meaningful response, an honest, authentic reply. We're already operating at breakneck speeds, trying to get things done every day. When you can, stop, breathe, just find yourself present, awareness of the space, awareness of the people or animals near you, without any thoughts or ideas, just pure awareness. Bringing your awareness to your hip. Are you noticing any letting go? You may be noticing some stress in your fingers while you hold. We're going to release now and bring the arms out to the side, shoulder height. Cross the legs over as if you were wearing a tight skirt. Keep the feet off the floor and just gently let both knees fall over to the right side. And if you like, turn your head to the opposite side. Again, a nice, gentle stretch and release for the muscles, 4 layers of them around the spine. Is when we're in sedentary seated postures, the nerves, the blood supply that goes to the spine can be reduced, which again can make us feel tired, lethargic, maybe brain fog. Okay, come back to center. And you know what? Let's just take a moment once again to extend the legs down in front, arms beside the body. Turn the palms up in the open and receiving position. Bring your heels together. Let your feet splay out. Lift your shoulder blades up. Tuck them underneath your heart center. Extend the back of your neck by tilting your chin towards the center of your chest, and then let everything go. Just let it go. So as I mentioned in one of my notes yesterday, but I wrote 3 different ones to different groups, that Shavasana is the opportunity for our bodies to integrate the benefits of what we have just done. It's kind of like putting your fork down between bites or your spoon, becoming aware of the taste, of the texture, of the flavors. How often does it happen that you might say, gee, what did I have for breakfast today? And you have no idea, no recollection. Well, chances are, like a lot of us, you just ate on the run, multitasking while you ate your breakfast. No judgment, just awareness here. Bring your knees up in towards your chest. Place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs, and let's rock up to a seated position and come on over onto all fours. And I'm just going to follow along here in what I was hoping we would do. Okay, so we're going to come up and curl your toes under, lift your hips up, walk your feet towards your hands. And we're going to take a standing, soft, bent leg forward fold. Let your belly rest on your thighs. So again, this is stretching out the lower back. This is releasing this whole area of the lumbar. So you've got your thoracic around the shoulder blades. Your lumbar is at your waist. This whole area can get so jammed up. So just by hanging upside down, we're letting the weight of the head stretch out the cervical spine. And then this stretch in the lumbar area is a nice release. And then root your feet into the ground and let's slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Keep your chin tucked into your chest and let your head be the last thing to come up. Yay. Okay. So we're going to do our sun salutations. And continue from there. So coming up to the front of your mat, inhale in place, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart, arms up, reach up, look up and arc back. And then inhale, bring your feet back together, lift up out of your waist, fold from the tops of your legs, your hips, reach and stretch forward, bringing your fingertips to the floor. Please let your head hang. Step your right leg back, drop your knee to the mat, bring your hands onto your front thigh, and then focusing your gaze, if you wish to, take that back knee off the floor, press through the heel. That'll be the anchor of your posture. Inhale and sweep your arms up. Keep the shoulders down. Activate your fingertips. You're holding a large beach ball. Really press through the back heel. And then turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, bring them on either side of the front foot, and take that foot back. Come into your plank position. Alrighty, here once again, we want to focus on breathing into the back ribs, back and side ribs. So inhale, engage your belly, pull your navel up towards your spine. This strengthens the core, obviously upper body as well. It's preferable that your bum is poking up as opposed to sagging, allowing your core to sag. And then release your knees to the floor. Flatten the tops of your feet by pointing your toes backwards. Take your buttocks way back. Way back. Keep your hands where they are. Your forearms and elbows may be on the mat. I want you to keep your torso really low as you come slowly forward and release your chest and your chin on the mat. Slide everything out behind you now. Align your fingertips with the edges of your shoulders. Place your forehead on the mat. Bring your elbows into your side body and then press your elbows and forearms down towards the mat. This releases the shoulders away from your ears and brings your shoulder blades down your back. Roll an invisible alley with your nose and then slowly lift the head, the neck, the shoulders, and maybe the chest. You're not using your hands. We're coming into baby cobra, strengthening the lower back. You can feel the muscles activated here. The fuller expression of cobra doesn't do what baby cobra does. And breathe. Eyes can be opened or closed, gazing up towards your third eye. Keep your elbows in. One more breath in. Exhale, come on all the way down. Curl your toes under. Come on up onto your knees, lift your hips up, walk your feet a few inches forward, and then bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Align your ears with your inner arms. Press all 10 fingers into the mat so much that you have a dome of space inside your palms. And on an exhale, I want you to feel like you're pressing your sits bones towards the back wall and pressing your heels towards the floor. You're keeping a soft bend in your legs, I suspect. Please, no hyperextension here at the knees. Heels do not need to be touching the ground. Just breathe here into your side and your back ribs. Remember, 70% of your lung capacity takes place in the back and the side of your rib cage. Okay, let's lift the right leg up into the air. Look at your right hand. Swing that leg as far forward as you can. Other leg forward. Please let your heads hang. Soft bend in the knees. Give your head a little bit of a swing so you know that the weight of your head is stretching out your cervical vertebra. And then bring the arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps, and let's sweep the arms in front, reaching up, stretching up, looking up, feet apart, arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together, lift up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. And then bend your knees, bring the arms out to the side, sweeping up, palms together. Exhale, bring your hands into prayer. If you like, you can go to the other side of your mat and we'll do one more round. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart, arms up, reach up, look up, arc back. Inhale, stretch up, bringing your feet together, lift up out of your waist, hinge from your hips, tops of your legs, folding forward, Uttanasana. Fingertips come to the floor, so if you need to, you're going to bend your knees to get your fingertips on the floor. Step your left leg back, drop your knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your right knee. If you wish to lift it off the floor, remember to keep your shoulders directly over your hips. Do not let your body lean forward. Inhale, come up. Press into the heel of your back foot. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Activate your fingers, keep your shoulders down, rib cage in. Feel your breath in the back and side ribs. I'm going to repeat this a lot so that you'll have this, I hope, memory. It's all about awareness, creating great habits. And once they become habits, you don't have to think about them anymore. We have bad habits and we have good habits. If we have more good habits, you know the answer. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, take the other leg back. Come on into your best push-up plank position. If this is too much for your wrists, you can always drop your knees to the floor, and then lift your feet off and cross at the ankles. So if you feel that your wrists are taking a hit here, please bring your knees to the floor sooner than later. Reach through the crown of your head. Engage your core by drawing your navel up towards your spine. You do have to keep breathing here. Notice those back and side ribs moving. 2 more breaths. Breathing through your nose. On the inhale, always to purify and warm the air. Lovely. Bring the knees to the floor. Flatten the tops of your feet. Toes are pointing backwards. And then slowly take your buttocks back. Feel your tummy on your thighs. Palms and arms stay outstretched. and then slowly slither forward, staying nice and low. I know this can be really awkward. One of the reasons this can be awkward is because we're so tight in our shoulders and our thoracic region. So this is excellent to counteract the tightness, the tension, the roundedness in that upper back area. And slide everything out behind you. Once again, align your fingertips with your edges of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your side body. Your forehead is on the mat. Now press your forearms down towards the floor. Feel the shoulders move away from the ears, shoulder blades down your back. You can stay with baby cobra here, or you can try the fuller expression. If you wish, you can take your feet wider apart and press your baby toes into the floor. This just broadens the sacral area, which doesn't have a whole lot of flexibility. At any rate, wherever you're at, keep those elbows tucked into your side body. Roll an invisible alley with your nose. Inhale, lifting head, neck, and shoulders. At this point, we're all on the same page. But if you're going to come up into the fuller expression, press the floor away from you. Try not to let the shoulders ride up towards the ears. Keep a bend in the arms. And let the curvature of the cervical neck vertebra align with the curvature of your back. Back bends support the integrity of the vertebra. One more inhale. Exhale, lengthen as you lower. That may have been your first cobra in a while, so you may have been feeling it. Release your forehead to the mat. Curl your toes under. Come on up onto your knees. Lift your hips up. Walk your feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly to your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Press all 10 fingers into the mat. Align your ears with your inner arms. As we attempt to straighten our legs and press our heels to the floor, think about taking your sits bones to that back wall. Okay? When you do that, you're lengthening your spine, creating space. So this is an inversion as well, and most of you recognize or remember there are important benefits to inversions. Getting your heart above your head means you get more blood flow above the heart, which in our waking state, we're only getting about 25% of blood supply above the heart. So now all of our important endocrine glands are being bathed. It's good for the facial skin, the brain. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs here, and then lift that left leg up. Look at your left hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward. Standing forward bend. Keep a soft bend in the knee. Let your head hang. Now, engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. So now you're straightening your legs. Bring the arms beside the ears. Pull your bellies in. Inhale, sweep the arms up, feet apart for balance. Reach up, look up, and arc back. Inhale, stretch up, lift out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, bring your hands together in prayer, down to your heart center. Great. Give your legs a good shake out. We're going to do a one leg Tadasana. And you're like, what? No, we're going to work hip flexors and hip. And again, this will activate some of your back muscles to strengthen the areas that are weak that prevent us from sitting up straight. So coming into Tadasana to start with, lift your toes off the floor. So you're really feeling rooted and grounded through the big toe mount, baby toe mount, and center front of your heel. Now you should feel this enough that your inner thigh adductor muscles are engaged. We're going to balance on our right foot first. I will do the mirror image. So I'm going to balance on the opposite leg, but you're going to start balancing on the right. Lower your toes back down onto the floor. Feel really rooted through the soles of your feet. Bring your hands into prayer. So begin to balance on your right foot by coming up onto the ball of the left foot. Focus your gaze for balance. Lift that left leg off the floor so that your thigh is perpendicular to your body. Strengthening right hip, thigh, glute. It's okay if your standing leg is wobbly. Can you hold another breath? And lower it down. Great. Lower everything down. Give it a shake out. If you feel you need something nearby, like a chair to balance, please go for that. Just going to have a look here and see what okay. Right. All right, let's try the other side. Take your time for balance. I'll tell you when, but wait for your own inner cue. So this time you'll be balancing on your left foot. Bring your hands into prayer. And breathe. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Pardon me, it'll be your right foot this time. Sometimes looking down at the floor, not moving. And then when you're ready, lift that leg up. So it's just a bent leg, thigh perpendicular. Breathing. Even if you fall out, try it again. One more breath in. Great. Wow, okay. Ready for a little tap dance here. All righty, we're going to do a supported squat. So you will need either a cushion, or if you got your blocks, as I mentioned, somebody said they were available at a Dollarama, and I did see them there. And for our purposes, they'll be fine. I know that Winners has them, but with what's been going on, it seems to be a shortage of everything. Okay, so I'm going to show you the support with the block. Some of you won't need the block. Basically, so squat. Now, this is a great release for the lower back, stretching your outer thigh muscles. So turn your feet out. They're going to be probably wider than just about your shoulders, but your feet will be wider than your shoulders because your toes are pointing out. And as I said, some of us can sit in the squat with hands forward, but others, you've got different heights for your block. So find a position or a cushion that will support you in releasing your lower back. So I'll do this sideways. I don't need the block, but for those who do, the other thing is if you have a blanket and you feel that it would help to have this behind your heels, this can help too. Or another mat, just putting that under your heels can be helpful. Find whichever way works for you. And then using your elbows to press your knees wide apart. I don't remember the percentage right now, but it's pretty high. A lot of women will give birth like this in third world countries. So all of our modern conveniences aren't very convenient if they're messing up our bodies, are they? All right, one more breath here. And that will do. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh boy. Okay, so come on down. We're going to take our seated pose once again and see how this is feeling. So pull the flesh away from your sits bones, sitting straight up, coming into Dandasana, staff pose. Heel of your hand beside your hips. Now, do you remember what this felt like at the beginning of the class? Is this just a little bit or maybe even a lot easier now? We're even going to make it a little bit easier again. So just note where you're at, how this feels. Tech guy's busy running around, but tech guy's going to do class tonight, aren't you?
That's right.
That's right, he says. He needs this. Okay, everybody, raise your arms up. Shoulders stay down. We're going to lift up out of our waist, lift up, 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 and then slowly release. Just come halfway forward. That'll do. Feel your belly on your thighs. I'm going to give you my immune tip information when we come into Shavasana, but I want to remind you that last week it was all about zinc, the importance of zinc, and the best form outside of food sources, which are shellfish, Brazil nuts, was a lozenge. Inhale one more time, reaching out over your toes as much as you can. Exhale, come on all the way down as far as you can. So take hold of the feet or your calves or your ankles. So you're stretching out that lower back and a major stretch here for your hamstrings. This is going to have you all sitting up nice and tall, feeling stronger today. One more inhale, reach through the crown of your head. Reach, stretch. Right through the crown of your head. You may feel your hamstrings burning just a little bit. It's okay. They're just saying, wow, look how far I can stretch, Ma. One more. Inhale, reach and stretch, and on an exhale, fold whatever amount you can. It doesn't matter if it's a quarter of an inch. So when it comes to zinc lozenges as the supplement, when we allow them to dissolve in our mouths, that supplement is getting into our bloodstream more efficiently, and it's also entering up into the nasal passages. So it's very helpful in combating viruses, all of them. Got the flu coming up, apparently. If you listen to too much mainstream news, you're going to be terrified to leave the house. So monitor how much you allow in. Inhale one more time, exhale. And now walk your hands back up your legs. Okay, here we go. How is it feeling to sit up straight now? Are you starting to feel like that 9-month-old who's just learning to sit up and sits bolt upright and goes, gaga, cuckoo? I hope you're feeling really good in that sitting up position. Okay, in fact, let's just try this one more time, everybody. Reach up, lift up, out of your hips. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Reaching. One more inhale, reach and stretch. Reaching through the crown of your head, feel the stretch in your lower back. Still practicing with awareness, respect, and compassion, and no judgment. One more inhale. Exhale, lowering down, and then on an inhale, walk your hands back up. Wow. How are those hips feeling? Pretty yummy, huh? Okay. Let's come down. Actually, we're just going to sit here for a moment. Feet are as wide as your mat, and we're just going to windshield wipe the hips, okay? Just make sure that everything here is feeling good. So feet stay on the outside of the mat, and we're windshield wiping the knees and thighs to the side. Now, if you need to put socks on or take your blanket and put it over your body, grab that. Coming down onto the floor, some of you may wish just to bring your hands onto your knees and make big, 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 big circles. Now, the bigger the circle and the wider the knees, the more territory you can cover on your bum, your lower back, your side haunches, the hips. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Change the direction. Take your time. Feeling how that lower back area is, the hips. And then when you're ready, send your legs straight out in front. Bring the heels together, let the feet splay out. Turn the palms up in the open and receiving position. Have your arms about 6 or 7 inches away from you. Let's lift the shoulder blades off the floor, tucking them under. Tilt your chin towards your sternum. Close your eyes. Let your eyeballs sink into their sockets. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw and allow your body to be soft and heavy. Please feel good about your efforts. I'm just going to speak to you for a moment on the benefits of vitamin D. I may have left my paper. Oh no, here we go. Oh, yes, I did. Okay, I left my notes at home, but suffice to say, vitamin D supports a healthy immune system, because that is one of the focuses of this session. Strengthening your immune system is key, as more and more viruses are circulating throughout the world. Vitamin D also very important for bones, teeth. Now, sunscreen is great, but even a 30 SPF can reduce 95% of the sun's ability to create vitamin D in the body. Now, that only really applies in the summertime. If you get 5 or 10 minutes of sun in the Northern Hemisphere when the sun is capable of stimulating our own body's ability to produce vitamin D, that's all you need. 5 or 10 minutes daily. Some people refer to it as a sun bath. Not at noon hour. Sun bath is good earlier in the morning, later in the afternoon. But because of the incredible use of sun block, now we're finding that some people are deficient in vitamin D. And given where we live, vitamin D supplements are absolutely key. You can take up to, I'm taking about 4,000 international units now. I just take it in a tiny little pill form. It's not expensive. In fact, it's very inexpensive. And the benefits of vitamin D are enormous. They prevent certain cancers. And in terms of food, fatty fishes, and you'll start noticing the same foods are the ones that provide us with the most benefits. So again, salmon, mackerel, tuna, if you like fish, cheese contains vitamin D, and it's easy to look it up, what you can take in food sources, but just to be sure, and remember, supplements are only supplements. They should supplement a good diet. This time of year, the harvest focuses on root vegetables, sweet potato, another great food. Just slice it up, saute it in maybe coconut oil or olive oil slowly in a frying pan, and you've got yourself some very healthy food that's easy to make that the whole family should enjoy. So I invite you to stay in Shavasana for a few more minutes if you can, and allow the benefits of what you have just done to fully be absorbed into every cell of your being, both body and mind. As always, it is my honor to share this practice with you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.